Good Friday morning, everybody. Mehryn, how's your Friday going?
It's awesome. I'm getting ready for a long weekend here in the States. We got Labor Day coming up on Monday, so it's a holiday weekend coming up on us.
We got Labor Day, which means I'm not going to be able to wear white anymore after next week.
In Florida, we wear white all the time, year-round.
You people in Florida are crazy. You got to stick to the rules, Mehryn. It's all about the rules.
Yeah.
Well, welcome, everybody, to the fastest 10 minutes of Microsoft Teams rooms for the week. We've got a lot to get to. I'm glad that everybody's here. Again, if you like this show, tell your friends, tell everybody so that we can sort of broadcast this news. But there's a whole bunch of news to get to. I think one of the things that we wanted to do this week was sort of remind everybody we are partner facing. We have this show that we do out to the public, but we are partner facing. And Mehryn, there's a big deadline coming up for partners.
Very big deadline. So basically the competencies will all be changing October 1st. So what I'd like to stress to everybody is think about your competencies, and really if you're kind of skating on the ice here, make sure you focus and get everything done before September 30th, because it's a whole new world starting October 1st. I'll drop a link in the chat for LinkedIn. It's important to just look at what those competencies are, things like CPOR and getting all your certifications. Just go ahead and take a look at that.
I think the announcement came so long ago, we all forgot about it, but October's here, Mehryn. So we've got to start to think about what we're going to do for this October deadline. And if you haven't looked at it, please get in contact with your account manager so that you're not behind the gun when October comes and hits. And speaking of things and being behind the gun, Mehryn, there's a big session that Satya is actually going to hold September 22nd for leaders and for people that are going back to work. And it has to do with Viva. And I think you and I both like to say there's no I in Teams, right?
Yeah, right. Well, and I think we both talk about, like, whenever Satya has a big, I mean, all of his keynotes are always amazing, but it's kind of like all the things that we talk about, the work-life index and all of the data. I mean, all the research that we've done, it looks like he's going to go deep into the rapidly changing economic environment. Like, this should be a really, really good one. So definitely make sure you sign up. Don't miss it. Put it on your calendar, September 22nd. I think we'll all be tuning into that one.
And just a great session. Again, Viva wraps itself around. It's all about the M365 experience and basically having all of the information. And as you go back to the office, make sure you're hearing from the leader of one of the largest software companies in the world about how we're actually doing it and what we're doing on that side. Also, Mehryn, a technical update. There was a blog post that came yesterday about enabling media logs remotely for your users in Microsoft Teams. A lot of times, people may have issues on the video side and they're trying to track them down. And the support side will say, hey, we need your logs. But the logs need to be enabled on the machine so that we don't sort of fill up your machine and do things like that. So there are some PowerShell commands that are actually listed on this blog, and I thought it was really interesting and just something that an IT admin might want to do. I know IT admins are inside of their tenants right now, looking at a whole bunch of different things that we're not going to talk about till next week. But while you're in there, go ahead and look at this.
Yeah, things we're not talking about, stay tuned. We'll just say software and licensing. September 6th is the date you want to look for. So enjoy the long weekend before then, and then we'll talk to you then.
And you really need all of the information to understand why, how, and everything that's happening with this. So next week we'll have a whole thing, and later in the show I'll actually tell you where you can learn more as well.
Right. Oh, look,
Michael.
we've got a special guest.
Hi, everyone.
How are you?
I'm doing great. I had a great time with Tracy Herr about 2 weeks ago, talking about Intune compliance and conditional access. It's the second video I've done on Intune compliance and conditional access. Previous one was with Mario de Ritter out of Belgium. This one was with Tracy Herr. This one, we talk a lot more about individual devices, so phones and things like that. The previous one was all about Teams Rooms, Android. So about 53 minutes. It's pretty long, but
there's a lot of good things in there, Michael, and I know that the mic just muted, but there are tons of things inside of this video to learn and to ascertain. If you are putting in Teams Room Android devices, remember, Android is Android, especially when it comes to conditional access, especially when it comes to authentication. So when you're looking at, I'm an organization, I'm going to put in a Teams Room Android device, don't discount that your organization may have already looked at Android as a mobile device and have some things on there. Michael, I know that you got into the whole thing on this video.
Yes, it's in depth. So
good. And speaking of in depth, Mehryn, I think our friend Liam is going to have a session September 15th, right?
Yep, and he's going to be going into basically why native Teams Rooms versus the USB device, the the pluses and all the advantages of going with a native system. So make sure you don't miss that. Again, that's a lot happening in September. You're going to see all the dates coming up, but it is action packed. This one is September 15th. So
I think there's a lot of events that we've got a lot of events covered, but one of the big things that happened this week was actually HP completed the acquisition of Poly. So congratulations to two fabulous Microsoft partners who are coming together. But one of the great things is it's business as usual. If you're an HP customer, if you're a Poly customer, nothing's changing right now. There's a whole bunch of things that will change in the future, but continue to work with your account reps on both sides of the field. And both have been really, really great inside of the Teams Room business.
Yep, I'm excited to hear kind of how that evolves, but nice to kind of as a seller know that we can continue selling and it's all good. No momentum shifts in the business, which is great. And speaking of Poly, right? This is another one, right?
Mehryn, I love discounts this time of year. 100% I love discounts this time of year. Who doesn't love a discount? And if you haven't seen what Poly's sort of putting out there for their discount, for their room systems, make sure you're talking to somebody. Maybe it's a distribution, maybe it's somewhere else, but talk to them and see about, hey, I want to try my first Teams room. With a lot of things that are coming out now, the cost of owning a Teams room is really much lower than it had been previously. So look at it, understand it, and if you want to talk to Poly about a discount, I think they're happy to talk.
There's tons of white space here. Honestly, like 90% of rooms are not equipped. So there's plenty of people that don't have a Teams room that you can go after there.
And plenty of stock. That's the biggest thing is people are trying to get some things, but there is stock out there if you need it. If you're having trouble finding stock, talk to us. Talk to the account reps. We'll find you stock where it needs to be. And Mehryn, I've teamed up with Europe. You know, we're one country, we're one world, we're one everything, and we're going together and doing Teams room training. And this is going to be a bi-weekly event. Now, we put this out there for next Thursday. Next Thursday, we will be having this training. We don't have the complete landing page yet, but this will be a bi-weekly event with myself, Robert, Michelle, and Mo. Some of the best in the business coming together to make sure that our partners are trained. Go ahead and sign up. Meet us there. We're going to have a lot of information, especially about the things that we can't talk about today, but we're going to have a lot of information. So I think a majority of that session might actually be the questions about that. But again, another event, Mehryn?
You just have a lot of events. And another one, it's coming from Poly. I think this is one where we've got 5 different cities, and I think you're going to be going to New York, right?
New York.
Going to Dallas.
New York. I'm crossing the bridge, Mehryn. I'm crossing. It's a dangerous thing, but I'm crossing the bridge. I'm going to New York.
Good luck.
And
we've got a couple going. Yeah, it starts September 8th. So we've got, I know Randy, Monique going to Dallas. We've got Atlanta, Chicago, Boston. So that's in combination with Microsoft, Poly, and Ribbon, which is awesome.
And Ribbon. Great Microsoft partners. Great roadshow to go out and have. And Mehryn, I'm going to fist bump. I'm going down to the Jersey Shore. Thank you to Starren. Thank you to me. They invited me to my home. I mean, how can I not go to the Jersey Shore? If you are in New Jersey, if you are from New York, Connecticut, anywhere around the state, come meet me down at Rooney's Oceanfront Restaurant. Thursday, September 15th. I'll be down there. I'll actually be making a presentation. And Mehryn, to you people down in Florida, it's got palm trees. Look at the view outside of that room.
It looks awesome. If you're outside doing this, like I might be tempted to fly up to New Jersey just to join you guys. Awesome.
Come see Jimmy. 100% Jersey Shore at its finest.
That's awesome.
And another event around the world. I have so many events that we did the slides and we were like, wow, this is a lot. But our friend Andrew Higgs, otherwise known as Higgsy, is going to join the people over at Logitech over in Australia for a special session of Talk Techie to Me.
I love Talk Techie to Me. So this is 10 p.m., right? So even us East Coasters and those in Europe might be able to join. I certainly plan to, but this is in combination with our friends at Logitech. We've got 3 great speakers that'll be chiming in there. And I don't know if you knew, but Higgsy is a Gold Club winner for Microsoft. So he's a proud representation of our Microsoft Teams Rooms team.
And one of the best out there talking about Teams Rooms and making sure that everybody's on point with it. And another event, we've got partners teaming up with partners to go ahead and put on events. Yamaha, Lenovo, and Aver are putting together a session September 8th. Our friend Chris Miola is going to be down there along with Josh Peterson, a whole bunch of people down there talking about some of these bundles that they've got in market and the ability to actually just have this SKU go to your customer and say, I can outfit this with the Teams Room right now.
Love it. Very cool.
And Mehryn, we've talked about Expert Zone. We've talked about badges. There's a whole
Yeah.
bunch more now on Expert Zone as well.
Yeah, and you'll start to see, we always say, like, go get your badge, but there's a ton more beyond Microsoft Teams Rooms. So if you're looking, like, we actually kind of started this as Teams Rooms. We got a lot of traction within Expert Zone. Not that we were the first to have a badge, but there's so many more badges that have been put on there in the last, let's say, 3 to 4 months. So if you haven't been in there in a bit, make sure you check out. I think there's some great things about accessibility in there. There's also things about Microsoft Surface. There's modernized endpoint. So just a good place to check out if you haven't been there in a while.
Michael and I were talking right before the show about the modernized endpoint accreditation.
Right.
I'd love to learn. So, chances are going to be going in there. It's great. You get a badge, you put it on LinkedIn, you show everybody, hey, I've done this. And again, it's Expert Zone. If you don't pass it the first time, go do your learning, go back and take it again. This is not something that it's one and done and you can't do it. So 100%. And speaking of not one and done and everything, just married.
Oh,
just married. We want to say congratulations to our friend Graham, who is posting on LinkedIn. If you don't follow Graham on LinkedIn, on Twitter, he's a great resource. He works at Neat. He worked at Crestron, one of the great people inside of this community. I know he just got married. Just wanted to give him a shout out and say thank you for everything that he does for all of us.
Awesome. Well, we did it.
Michael, you're muted right now. I know that we're having some mic problems.
Great. Yeah. How does 8V work? Graham's been posting honeymoon pictures too. I think he's in Ibiza. So.
Oh, nice. I love it.
Good. Well, we did it in 12 minutes. We didn't think we would do it under 15 this week. But again, thank you for everybody who comes out. Thank you for all of the comments in the chat. And Hanan, I have real palm trees in Jersey. I guarantee you they're real palm trees. But we'll get together at some point. We'll show each other what each state has to offer. If you like this show, if you like our news, go ahead and share it. Go ahead and make sure that others on LinkedIn know that this is here and this is an option for us. And Mehryn, again, and this is probably the last weekend I can wear white, so we'll see what I'm wearing next week too.
Break the rules, come on.
Break the rules. All right, Michael, why don't you go ahead and take us out of here? Thanks, everybody.